Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About Lego. Is with Jason. That's me, myself. I'm with the Brick Stop. Check it out on Instagram. Check out the links below the video if you want more content from me, and as well as Andrew with Brick Monarch, and of course Brick Monarch Shop. Check out the links again for some awesome merch from Brick Monarch Shop. Now, Andrew, it is the 30th. Yes,
Yes.
is that the last day of the buy two get one free, or is that done yet?
I think it's done.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure
Just
it was
checking.
over last night. Yeah.
Okay. So you're
Or no,
okay.
it's through tonight. It's through tonight. I'm sorry.
All right. I just wanted to make sure because I know you had said through the end of this month, so I wasn't sure if tonight still counted.
Yeah. I
But you
believe.
got what till midnight?
Yeah.
Yeah. So guys, if you didn't get your 2-for-1, you still might be able to squeak in there and get a couple signs. It's on all the wall signs, and they're really cool. So we threw some promotions up on the Instagram.
Oh,
Hopefully, you
yeah.
guys were able to grab those.
They're so amazing.
Yeah, they really are. I would have a room with every single one of the shields on one, the pirate flags on another.
Oh yeah. I
All the
know.
space
Me too.
factions along the other side if I had that kind of space and time. So,
It'll
um,
get there. It'll get there, right?
yeah. It's all in the plans, right? It'll happen.
Yeah. Let's welcome everybody in here.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got General Tron just showed up. Octavian is in here. Ardo, Jose, alternate candidate, Brickativity, Spacer Nate, Matt Braden, Mirko.
Awesome.
So we're here to talk about Power Miners, the
Yeah,
wannabe
welcome.
Rock Raiders theme.
The wannabe the wannabe Rock Raiders. Yeah. Some say the spiritual successor to Rock Raiders. It is not, in my opinion, or I think most opinion, not a reboot of Rock Raiders or a sequel to Rock Raiders. It's related in a way because it's the same. What would you say? It's the same genre, underground mining with creatures and crystals, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's not. There's reasons for it not being an actual reboot of Rock Raiders. So we'll get into that a little later potentially. We're not. I'm just going to preface this. We're not. This is not a lore video. We're not going to sit and tell you every name of every rock monster because every single one has a name and every single character also has a name. And so we might throw some of those out, but not most. Most of this is just let's take a look at the theme, what was provided, right? What the
Mm-hmm.
sets look like, what
Yeah.
we feel about it as a whole. If you want the lore, you can find Breaking Up Brad or other people that really do deep dives into this type of stuff who can, really get into it. Who's that other guy? Nick on Planet Ripple, the Lego Rewind dude. I'm sure he's got a
So,
phenomenal video about all the lore. So just forgive us if you're looking for lore. That's not what we're really going to get into. There's so much of it. It could be a 4-part video on just the lore.
yeah, and I don't think anybody really cares enough to hear about that.
Yeah, I mean, some people do, but people that maybe watch this channel are more interested in just kind of doing an overview of the theme, and that's what we're here for. So
Yeah.
just thought I'd throw that out there.
So right off rip, before we get into the sets,
Yeah,
the reason that I bought these when they released was
yes,
because I was a huge Rock Raiders fan back in
sure,
the day.
yeah,
It is not Rock Raiders. Rock Raiders is more of a salvage mining team
yeah,
versus what this looks more like a corporate backed,
sure,
know,
yeah. No, I
big
totally understand.
operation, right?
Yeah, funded, well
Yeah,
funded.
it's well funded. It's a well funded expedition versus the Rock Raiders being more savage and a little bit more gritty. This is a
It's
bit
just like
more polished.
it's darker. It's a darker theme. It's stranded in an asteroid, underground
Yeah,
space derelict ship type thing, crashed. Like it's got a darker edge to it for sure. More of a almost sci-fi. I wouldn't say sci-fi horror, but a little just because they get underground and there's these slug creatures and these monsters that crawl up out of the ground and they're like kind of trapped, down in this underground place.
now
Whereas
there
like
are some really cool sets in this theme.
yeah,
Very
no, I
cool.
mean, if the only thing that would be better potentially is if we got Rock Raiders 2, which was just a true, continuation of the theme with the same colors and figs and stuff like that. Other than that, I mean, this is the best thing you could get in that same genre, I think.
Yeah.
I don't mind it at all. I never really got that many of them. I have scattered bits and pieces. I might have a couple of the monsters and some of the
When
figures.
these came out, I had every single one.
Really?
Yeah, it was, before I had sold my second collection.
Okay. 2009, because this is
Yeah,
right.
these
Yeah.
released in 2009 with a second wave in 2010. The second wave only had 4 sets,
Okay.
and there was a color shift. They added
Yeah.
more blue, and they used water. For some reason, there was hydraulic or, hydropower
Mm,
involved, maybe to put out fires. I don't know what the water I don't know the lore on it, but,
yeah.
there was more water-oriented vehicles that had, like, tanks and, stuff like that. So,
Sure.
we'll
Well, I
talk
think
about
some
it
of the
briefly.
yeah, I think some of those heavy hitting monsters were pretty lava oriented, and so the water might have been to combat some of the fire and lava that were coming up out of that.
Yeah, I
Um,
would assume that's what the water was for. The base in the second wave was
yeah.
called Lavatraz. It's
Nice.
like Arcatraz,
That's awesome.
you know?
Yeah, this yeah,
That was
yeah.
kind of a cool little play on words, and of course, they really kind of pushed the lava idea, I assume because they had some water vehicles happening.
Definitely. Yeah.
But the first wave was just straight up dig and blow shit up.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of dynamite, lots of drills. Looks like
Yeah,
some pretty heavy diesel powered, carbon, not carbon, fossil fuel powered machines underground, right?
yeah.
So that's kind of the vibe you
The
get with this.
drills are not anywhere near as cool as the Rock Raiders,
No, no, and I think that's partially why I didn't really buy much of this when it came out.
though.
I believe it was also potentially there was another theme in 2009 that I was focusing on more. You know, I didn't have all the money in the world to buy everything I wanted, but so if I was focusing on something else, this would have taken a second, back seat to that. But um yeah, so I never really got a hold of that many of these. And then, of course 5 years after they were unavailable, I look back at them and I'm like, "Man, some of those were kind of cool." um
I want to mention 2 comments really quick.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, for sure.
Filler Tech said the downside for this theme, though it's lots of Technic parts due to all the gimmicky engineering features
Mm,
and the color combo. And Generaltron's bricks saying mixing the Technic in never bothered me. And in
sure.
sets like these, I think the Technic adds an aspect of industry.
Yeah,
And
I
I don't mind it.
understand.
I honestly don't mind it. I think it adds a nice touch. If it was a solid brick,
Yeah,
it wouldn't look like it was like steel, right? 'Cause
sure.
some of the Technic pieces could be the equivalent of like a steel I-beam type, scenario where it's just
Yeah,
extremely strong. It's not made to look pretty. It's made for a purpose, and that purpose is to be strength, right?
definitely. Yeah.
So it has this real industry feel to it. Depending. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
obviously, I'm not going to throw Technic in my castle,
sure.
right? But if
Yeah,
I'm building, I've got some Technic built into my Blacktron Batarax too that I built, that I designed and built.
yeah. I
And
mean,
in this format, I don't think the Technic is a problem. I think it adds a nice touch.
Technic is the backbone to anything with kind of
It has
play
function.
function. That's exactly the word I was looking for. Anything that has a heavy amount of function, you're just going to see Technic. Now, I think I understand where Lorem Ipsum's coming from. With a brick built, play built, or a in-house theme that's minifig scale. There's a
Mhm.
lot of Technic in it, and I could get why some people might not like that. I'm leaning towards you and some other people in the comments saying I think it's integrated pretty well. The
Yeah,
colors I actually don't mind. I think there are a lot of themes that have a lot worse color combos than this one.
yeah, it's
Um,
not bad.
it's not a color I want to collect and build in, really.
Mhm.
But if I'm putting these together and having them as their own thing, displayed somewhere or built into a mock underground somewhere, I think it works for what they're representing pretty well. So,
Um, Filler Text said, yes, but Rock Raiders was the same, but wasn't 70% Technic. I would
no, this
agree.
is it's not 70. It's like probably 30 or 40.
Yeah,
And Rock Raiders
it
had
feels like it because I mean there is quite a bit,
sure. But
but
I mean, I don't necessarily count the Technic bricks as Technic because they have studs and they just have Technic holes, which you can, use. The Technic parts I really count as gears, pins, bars. the smooth bars, right? The smooth pillars, like I-beam pieces you were talking about.
Mhm.
Because those other ones have the studs on them, so they get integrated into brick built pretty well. Also, in the defense of the other side, Rock Raiders had a decent amount of Technic built into it as well. I mean, that little granite grinder was built all on Technic pieces to make it walk. You
Yeah.
know, so there's some on both sides, but I
There
get
is
it.
some.
Lauren
So,
Epsom, let's fight.
yeah, well,
I'm
look,
here
man,
for
we're
it.
on
Let's
your
fight.
side here, okay? We don't want to fight anybody.
I'm
A
like, let's
little
go.
bit,
Andrew's like,
little bit
can
of
we just?
technique in the industrial function of a set, right, is okay by me, depending on what it is. I don't want to see Technic, on a yacht build.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it on like a modular build. I don't want to see it in a lot of things, but certain
Yep.
things I will allow. Power miners is one of them. Rock Raiders could have had a bit more, and it wouldn't have bothered me at all. And as far as the color scheme goes, I think I think of I think maybe if they would have just went all orange instead
Sure.
of the lime green, that might have been cool, or even a bright yellow. So it
Yeah.
was like heavy machinery, like construction equipment type, stuff.
Yeah.
That would have also been cool. The green is kind of weird.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I get it for like wanting to give it a very unique standout feel. It's like this is Power Miners. This is their base color. We're going with this color. The orange accents. I mean, again, Laura Mipsum saying it's kind of clashes. It's a bit garish. It doesn't bug me as much as like even the what was it, the olive green and orange in the new like Jungle City sets really bugged me a lot more than this combo. And I think it's because these are both bright colors and they're both in the same kind of palette for me. Whereas like when you're mixing like an orange with a sand color, like sand green or something like that, it gets rough, I think. I don't know. Maybe not.
Yeah, no, I think
Anyway,
you're
enough of that. We can yeah. I think there's a way to do Technic and hide it well. I think one really good example of it, which is kind of similar to this time frame in Lego history, is Space Police 3. Space Police 3 has a decent amount of Technic holding some of those ships together, but you can't really see any of it.
right.
So I don't know. Good points though. I like it. That's the combo I like to hear. Get into it. So
Well, this is kind of a controversial theme because it's everybody wants it to be Rock Raiders, but it's not. It was
for
close
sure.
enough to like maybe buy and like them, but if you
Yeah.
look at it on its own thing, as its own thing,
Mhm.
faction or theme or whatever, it's pretty solid. The
Yeah. Power.
colors are a little weird, but I mean the builds are some of the vehicles and some of the builds are pretty rad.
And I'm not huge on gimmicks. I hate like flick fire stuff, and things
Oh
like
yeah,
that. But some of the gimmicks, if you will call them that, the functions of these are actually decent. They do some really cool like
yeah. We'll we'll
transforming
we'll
to an
we'll
extent.
talk we'll talk about each one of those as we get through them. So
Cool.
let's jump into the sets here, okay?
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, for sure.
So the first two here, we got the Mind Mech and the Crystal King.
Cool, cool.
I don't like brick built anything
Yeah,
ever, like so I'm completely off of that 100%.
the Crystal King.
Yeah, the Mind
Yep.
Mech is pretty cool. It's got the little grabber arms, it's got the walking legs.
It
Obviously,
looks like it looks like a dinosaur,
it does kind of.
a little dino. Yeah, I like it.
It does kind of.
Um,
It's a cool little set. These are all numbered too, by the way.
mm.
All these individual vehicles are numbered. This is number 2.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, for real quick. The again, so the lore is real deep. We're not getting into it, but I will say it was incredibly well developed as a theme. Even having the numbered vehicles doing different functions, having the gear on them, all the prints, and even on the Wave 2 where they had like certain types of protective gear they were wearing and stuff like that. Really, really, really well thought out and well developed. Whether you like it or not is a whole nother thing, but
These were all sticker packs.
it was really nice. Yeah, yeah. So not much printing on these.
No, it was mostly sticker packs.
Well, that makes sense for a theme like this.
Yeah, I mean it does. It kind of reminds me of that wild Dino Hunters where everything was just stickered, like the hoods of the vehicles and the doors and
Dino Attack or whatever.
well, yeah, I can't remember what it was. It
Yeah.
was it was very military dino hunter type vibe.
Yeah, post-apocalyptic mutant
Yeah, there's like
dinos versus
helicopters and
helicopters.
like
Yeah,
jeeps and stuff like that. It was real weird, real
it was
weird.
crazy.
Yeah, I didn't really like any of that.
The figures had like military paint on their faces and like chain guns hanging off the
Yeah,
helicopters and stuff. Yeah,
that was the guys.
it was cool, but it was wild. Stickers, says Michael. Yeah, yeah. Frowny face. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm not.
I'm not opposed to it for years. For years, I wouldn't put any of the stickers on my sets. And
Yeah.
then Crystal Lady Bricks got me the Hogwarts, the micro Hogwarts. You know, the like $400. It was one of the first $400 sets
Yep.
that came out.
Yep.
And she's like, well, you got to put the stickers in because you won't know what it is. I was like,
Yeah.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So it's got all the stickers in it. And then I just started putting stickers on everything after that. But I've got a bunch of sticker packs for the first 2 or 3 years of sets that I bought that I've never
Yeah.
even tried.
I say put them on if you want those parts to have the stickers on them. I think before Bricklink was Bricklink and Pick a Brick was so readily available for everybody, it really made a lot more impact if you didn't want to ruin per se a piece with a sticker. Now it seems like most of the parts that get stickers, for the most part, you can buy extras if you need them without stickers. So I just put them on most of the time. Unless I really hate a sticker, I'll usually just put it on. So
Mirko, he says, holy shit, this sucks. Great theme
Great.
for going on a dark age path.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, there's some cool stuff in here.
I don't agree. I don't agree. I don't agree with Mirko on this one. I think that there are some ones that aren't that good, but I think overall this theme got overlooked by a lot of people, and I think it's cooler than it is, or cool than people think it is.
Yeah. Lorem Ipsum, new dynamite or old? The old dynamite was printed on a 1x2 tile. If you recall that in the Rock Raiders, it was printed on a tile.
I love both.
I think at rebuilding Rock Raiders now, I would probably throw these dynamites in there, like in their buckets.
Here's the thing: the molded dynamite is not a bad piece. I
Oh, it's
really
great.
don't think it's a bad piece. It's
think
one of the
it's awesome.
cooler. Yeah, I think it's one of the cooler molded pieces for an accessory. So I don't hate it at all. I think it's really the nostalgia of like how they used to print, like even like accessories sometimes on tiles,
Yeah.
and I like that. It's a very classic Lego, and so I would always kind of lean towards the old printed dynamite pieces, and it's also Wild West. I think was one of the first times we kind of saw those parts come out. I think there was some in City too, but yeah. So yeah, I think both for me. I don't hate one or the other more. Um, I think they both have a really good application depending on what you want to do. It's cool we have both.
What do you the roll cage piece? Was this the first use of the roll cage piece? No, I don't think so. I think it was used in some small construction sets for City, if I'm not mistaken.
But it may have been used simultaneously at this time.
Possibly, yes. I don't quote me on that because I'm not 100% sure. It is a great piece though. That roll cage is pretty phenomenal. And there's
Yeah.
another use of it in one of the later ones, the 2010 release that is sideways, which is pretty epic, you know. So we'll mention that when we get to it. Let's move on here to some of these bigger vehicles.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we got the Claw Digger and the Thunder Driller. So you guys know, if you don't have these, the Claw Digger, if you rolled it forward with your hand, those claws would do this number.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Chunk, 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 chunk.
And the Thunder Driller, if you pushed it forward, the drill would move. The drill would spin.
Yes. Nice.
So
Nice.
there was some very cool functionality, and yes, it was built out of Technic.
But that Thunder Driller, you can almost see zero Technic except the hubcaps.
Yeah, it's all in that box. It's all in
Yeah.
that box there in the middle with
Inside.
the two lights on it. But yeah, I mean, still very very cool. Very cool
Function.
applications.
Yeah.
The functions were honestly this theme was a very good theme to show how functions can be built.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. In the simplest manner, because that's the way Lego does it. They're going to do it in the simplest manner that's effective and that works. and these did work very well.
Yeah.
Surprisingly enough, there was no stopping, no getting locked up or nothing like that. There was very flowy with the movement.
Yeah. Yeah. Derpy, says Laura Mipsum. Yeah, that's why I like Lego. There's a lot of derpy stuff in it, and that's what makes it awesome. I wish there were more derpy things because, to be honest, I'm kind of sick of all these licensed products that look like super realistic crap. Like, can we go back to some cool classic derpy in-house themes, please?
Yeah, that'd be
Yes,
great.
please. I like the dorky, fun, silly stuff. Like, I don't know. That's what this theme is, and this is also connected very heavily to, just to throw that out there in the lore, because this actually is important and it makes a lot of sense. It's connected extremely closely to Atlantis, the theme that either came out right with it or at least the next year, and then Alien Conquest, which is a theme that people forget existed. But so Alien Conquest, they all had characters that kind of interlocked and moved between the themes, and it was these three major themes. Oh, and Pharaoh's Quest. All four of those themes are linked together in some crazy lore.
I like Pharaoh's Quest.
Pharaoh's Quest is cool. We should
Yep.
actually talk about Pharaoh's
Yeah,
Quest.
it's not bad. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, we should jump that one on. There's only like 5 sets. A very quick
Yeah, it was very
conversation.
small.
Anyway, not to get too sidetracked, but you can kind of see echoes of Power Miners on purpose in uh,
Yeah.
Atlantis, which is a theme that I actually really, really like. So, yeah. Anyway, just continuing on that train, but yeah, these are fun. These are cool. They're not my favorite.
No,
yeah,
these two are not my favorite either. But
they're a little chunky. They are derpy. I give them that for sure.
I mean, they're underground drilling trucks,
Yeah, yeah,
scraper trucks, claw diggers. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know if that would be effective at all. To be honest with you,
It depends. Like, how's the ceiling in that cave? You're like, are you gonna be hitting that or what?
now this cave crusher here was one of my favorite ones.
See, I absolutely love the profile of the Cave Crusher.
I do too. The profile reminds me of
Really?
what other vehicle, Jason?
Oh, Megacore Magnetizer?
Nope.
No? Ah, what one?
Solar Snooper.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
that
yeah,
low
yeah.
profile, low cabin. It's down
Very
in the
nice.
dirt.
Yeah.
And again, moving the vehicle forward. What's it do? Turns the blades.
Space Police, says Octavian, and then he dropped Snooper in the comments. Good call. Yeah, I like that. It's just so low, and the wheels are better. These are better wheels. I wish that all of those other big chunky wheels they used and those other ones we just looked at were these, because these are much better wheels.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah, I like them.
They're better. They're not as good as the old ones.
They're not as good as the old ones, and I don't like how big the knobs are on there.
Sure.
Because if you roll on a flat surface, they don't roll; it just slides. So you gotta like ride it. You gotta like roll it on carpet.
Yeah, they're not gonna work on hardwood. Hey, look, there's Granite Grinder.
Yeah,
that's the one you were talking about.
Yeah, so Granite Grinder is a cool little vehicle, right?
Yeah.
But Rock Raiders also had the Granite Grinder,
which was superior.
Yeah, so they just kind of added the or took away the for this one. And I don't really see how it's a Granite Grinder with this little like shock spear on the front of it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe
how we got to that for that.
I believe when you moved that forward, did it not move like?
Yeah, I think it did.
It was like a jackhammer.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah.
Which is again a cool function. It's not my favorite attachment as far as drills and rock breaking equipment. I don't love the design for that piece, but it's a cool function that they added to a very small vehicle. So the fact they could pull that off is kind of cool. How does one grind granite? Not with this vehicle. There's nothing that grinds here. This is a smasher of some sort. But with the Rock Raider Granite Grinder,
and to be honest, the Cave Crusher looks more like it would be used in a deforest situation.
100%. It looks like that thing from Indiana Jones 4
or Ferngully.
Yeah. Just to grab those trees right in front and
Yeah,
just chunk, 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 chunk.
yeah. Start chopping them down. Yep.
Yep. Someone said it looks like somebody said the thunder driller in the cockpit looks like was powered by coal. Oh, did we look at the thunder driller yet? Oh,
Yeah,
is that the big one?
that was the big chunky over here.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Like a
Number
big
5.
coal powered engine inside there. Yeah.
I don't
It
remember. I
definitely.
don't know what number the claw digger is, but the thunder driller is number 5. You can see it.
Okay. Yeah, right on the mud flap or whatever up
Yeah,
there.
and
Yeah.
the granite grinder over here is number 3. Cave crushers number 9. So they all have a number, which is kind of cool, right? That's fun.
Nerf Herder says granite actually is a sawcut stone, but it usually taken high pressure water lubricant to cut.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, the other thing though is like I've seen granite that's like old, nasty weathered granite. It falls apart. Like it can be like crushed. So I don't know.
yeah.
It
I
depends,
mean,
I guess.
like if you took a brand new piece of granite for like a countertop,
Yeah.
you would be cutting it with a water blade.
Yeah, but if you drop it, it'll break in pieces.
That may be true, but
So.
I'm just saying, like that's how you cut it to shape.
Oh,
Right?
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You would cut it
Yeah, they
with
didn't care. They
no
didn't care
different
about.
than you would be cutting a piece of tile.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
Same idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah.
you gotta have that jet of water running in there. Helps lube the blade as it chops through it. So
Alternate candidate says,
I guess the cave crusher is kind of accurate, but there's no water hose.
well, yes and no. These guys aren't trying to cut nothing. They're digging holes through things. They're not shaping anything really.
It's true. They're looking for crystals.
Yeah, if granite was the resource, then making machines that ran it through and cut it into like cubes to use for something, which is actually kind of a cool concept, would be cool, but would make more sense. But they're just getting it out of the way to find the things inside these rocks. So, yeah.
Minifig collector said the claw digger was number 4.
Which one's this? Is this 9 or 6? 9, probably.
Cave crusher is 9.
Yeah. Depending on if you're driving it or getting run over by it.
Well, you could see those little cannons on the side.
Oh, I see them now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Like the fuel tanks or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like the fuel.
They have a 9. Yeah.
Something or other. Yeah. So these are kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I like them. I think they're fun.
Then we got some more big ones. The crystal sweeper. Literally, you move it forward and it picks up crystals. That's kind of cool. The boulder blaster just looks like a bulldozer with dynamite cannons on top.
Don't love
it's
that.
Literally built just like a traditional new Caterpillar.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the design of it. And then the rock wrecker. The rock wrecker was pretty wild.
What's fun is about
all those things would spin.
Yeah. And it's interesting because the rock wrecker, the front of it looks a lot like one of those tunnel drillers that we actually use in real life.
Yeah.
With the angle blades the way it is and all the multi-bit like blades and stuff like that. Do I like what it looks like, especially with that long Technic bar and the wheel on back? Not really.
The front is very aggressive and powerful.
Yeah.
The back is kind of lacking.
It's lacking. Yeah. I like the crystal sweeper quite a bit. I really like, it's quite a bit larger. The picture's a little small here, but you can see like
a larger vehicle.
You can see that whole drill arm coming off the back there. It's got a whole little cockpit and its own like mechanism that they're doing with the chain on it. So there's like almost like a work platform kind of built onto the sides, almost like a mobile sort of headquarters going through. I kind of like that. I like those types of vehicles that are just like really large moving platforms.
Yeah. And something else too to point out is the amount of different variations of wheels and treads that you get with this team is pretty wild.
There's lots. Yeah.
The treads that come on these sets are like I think some of Lego's best treads. And they connect to the bigger wheels. They were all worried about you making tanks and stuff, dude. Those things are gnarly right there.
Yeah.
And then you got the step down that was used in um, what was it? Arctic. Arctic used the smaller ones,
The little
smaller chain
ones.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, that came
And then
before though.
back in here on the Granite Grinder, you see that one.
Yeah.
See the original one, which is much smaller.
It's a lot smaller. I like the old ones too. The old ones are softer plastic or softer rubber, which have them turn a little better than some of the bigger treads. The
Mhm.
Technic treads that you clip together and take like a week to put together because there's like a thousand in each tread.
Dude, I know.
They are really nice though. They really they lay nice on the gear wheels and stuff like that. They're probably one of the I see like all the people who do like tanks and World War II stuff use the built ones.
Yeah,
So yeah, yeah, lots of variations in wheels and treads. Yeah, that Boulder Doze or the Boulder Blaster is nuts. I like
yeah,
the exhaust pipe coming out of the front, a little brown exhaust pipe thing.
yeah. It's a nice touch.
Also, what do you think about the molded monsters? You didn't like the brick built one.
I don't. I mean, I liked. I don't know. I like the bigger one. I guess it reminds me of the actual rock monster from Rock Raiders.
Yeah, yeah,
But those little ones that are just like you open up their mouth and the top of their head practically falls off, and there's like
yeah.
you put crystals in there or whatever.
They're walking trash cans.
Yeah, they're like walking trash cans. It's kind of weird.
I like them. I like them a lot. I like that they're really highly produced with the transparent molded into the solid
Oh yeah,
plastics.
I never said that. I mean, the
Yeah,
mix of the trans with the
yeah,
solid dual
yeah,
mold and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, an epic achievement.
yeah.
Putting it together, like it really kind of shows what's possible.
Right, right, yeah.
So
But
like,
conceptually, you're not quite there.
yeah, conceptually, I'm not real fond of them. They're kind of weird looking.
Yeah, so the whole theme's goofy. I don't think anyone's arguing that. The more you look at these vehicles and stuff like that, it definitely doesn't have that more not a sinister, that more like realism. I mean, funnily enough, Rock Raiders just felt more like a real thing. Like this
Yeah,
actually might have, could happen in the future. These things. This is just very, very, very sci-fi, very fantasy. It's like fantasy almost in rock mining stuff. But the whole concept of the rock monsters was when they would eat the crystals, they would start to vibrate and they'd like buzz and it would cause earthquakes. And so the reason the power miners were funded by the Lego City corporations to go down and see what was going on. Yeah, they were looking for energy crystals and sources of energy down there, but they were also trying to find and capture these little rock guys because they were causing major earthquakes in Lego City. That's kind of the story behind it.
oh
So
my god.
the so it's kind of great. Like it's a dumb story, but I kind of think it's really funny. And
Yeah,
so
I mean, I guess it's. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, you could play off of that.
yeah, so they would like whenever they would eat these crystals and they were obsessed with them, they would just like run around
So
underground
these
and eat
guys
these
were like
crystals.
heavily funded.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, because they were saving Lego City.
Yeah. So
Like,
like
yeah,
everybody was just throwing money at them.
like go catch all of these guys so they stop shaking us up.
So that's why they've got like all these different vehicles, and
Hmm.
they're like
And the
so
nets.
souped up and like
Yep. And like you said, there's a prison, right? So they're
yeah,
catching them, corralling them. They've got the
they've got
nets in a
dynamite
different way. Yep.
guns, net
Hmm.
guns.
Hmm. Yeah, they're trying to actually address a hazard down here, which are these little these little critters. So I kind of like that. Also, you get so many of them that you could really build up a nice swarm and have them like swarming over vehicles and stuff if you wanted to.
Yeah, if you wanted to, but you'd have to
Yeah,
add bars so that they could clip their hands onto them because they're the most awkward little thing ever.
yeah, little awkward fellers.
Anyway,
The
this
alternate
this
candidate
one
say,
here,
"Hey, hey, you said no lore." Sorry. Okay,
this
all
one,
right.
this one here, man,
Yeah,
though,
yeah.
is pretty phenomenal.
The titanium command rig.
Yeah, man. I mean, this whole, I mean, you know as well as I do, that whole rig like
Hmm.
literally stands up on one end,
Yeah.
and the drill goes straight down, and even the cabin like kind of
Hmm.
rolls and like connects and sits flat on the top.
It's a mobile command center. Like you go forward with the ones we were just talking about, the ones that you could drill the tunnels with, and the big drillers. You get down into the main caves, and you call in this guy. You roll him into that flat space you kind of created for that, and then you activate this, set that up as your main area, right? Like that's your command center now, and and the wheels are really the only purpose on the wheels is to get it to where it needs to set up.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, it's cool. I like this stuff. I would like to see more of this in Lego, and I'd like to see it done in maybe some more somber colors, some something like that. I think would look really cool.
And that crane platform actually cranks up and down.
Right, it's on a gearbox. I see that.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
gearbox, so you can, like, crank it to where it's, like, setting up higher or lower. Um, obviously, then you've got the winch on there as well. So, I mean, it was quite a bit of fun stuff. It was not as stable,
Mm,
even setting in this position, as
yeah.
you would think it would be.
Okay.
It feels very, like, very loose and delicate. It
Hmm.
looks like it's tough, but it felt very loose and delicate. And then when you set that drill up,
Yeah.
oh man, you want to talk about off balance weight.
Yeah. Not quite there.
Not quite there, no.
Interesting. Interesting.
But now, if you
Well,
just if you just set it like this and don't move it, don't touch it,
yeah.
great. It's great stuff.
Yeah. I also like the different colors of the rock monsters, the big ones and the little ones, but the big ones especially. Again, it's like one of those things where it's like the whole theme is cohesive, and you can kind of get if you ended up going all in on it and getting them, you get a really great crew of workers with all kinds of really nice prints and gear, but you get these cool a collection of different transparent colored crystal monsters, the big
Mhm.
ones and the little ones, and I just really like that. I think that's really fun. Because they kind of represent the different crystal colors that you could collect as well, like the colors of the actual crystals themselves. I think that's nice. Um,
Welcome, PX Chris. He just showed up.
nice.
And apparently, Lorem Ipsum absolutely does not like this at all because every comment is just shitting all over it. Which
He's not
we get it.
going for it.
We
The
get it,
colors just
and we
actually
understand where you're coming from. It's
the
okay.
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, there's themes like that for me too. Like and that's so that yeah, that's fine. I appreciate bringing in some of that conversation because you know that's totally understandable. For some people, it just doesn't work, and that's great. I like the banana in the crate.
The banana in
Together.
the crate is a nice touch. That's
They
their
brought
that's their, that's their lunch basket.
they legitimately brought lunch and a circular saw just in case.
Yeah.
Octavian says, "I think this last. I'm hoping he's talking about this one we're looking at. This last set is a perfect set if you're never going to get only or ever going to get only one set in this theme. Best of the first wave, I think. This or that solar snooper looking thing. Yeah, this is great because you're getting the big monster, you're getting one of the small monsters, you're getting three of the crew, and then just a really solid set. I think aesthetically, I can't remember, the solar snooper one looks better because it doesn't have these transforming functions they needed to pull off, and that's when you're going to get these bars and the exposed technic. Whereas like the solar snooper looking one looks a little cleaner. But yeah, that's a good point. I like that comment. Who said that? That was Octavian. Yeah.
Mhm. Well, let's mention Frank Woodson first stream. How's everybody doing? We're doing all right, Frank. Welcome.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for jumping in.
Michael de Sousa Cruz says the same as a Lego freak show. One monstrosity after the next. I can't stop watching.
Good. We appreciate you not stopping watching.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and I would agree with you to a degree. This is
There's
kind of
definitely some freakish stuff going on.
yeah, definitely. All right, moving on here. From the titanium command rig, we got this. We got the main underground mining station
Okay.
and two polybags.
Yeah.
You can hardly see the polybags, but the polybags in this are kind of weird.
The monster launcher and a rock hacker.
Yeah, like why are you launching the monster for one? Why aren't
I
you
think the
like
monster. I think the monster's launching itself, but yeah, or maybe not. I don't know. I think it's a play function because there was another one on that other. They had like two of them in like a little catapult. I think it was supposed to be like they throw themselves at the machines to like break stuff. I don't know, but yeah, that's a good point. If why are we throwing these little guys around at all?
Well, so here's an issue that we've got with the underground mining station.
Yeah.
So the crane, I guess it's supposed to be set up over like a water basin or a lava basin or whatever, and
Mm.
they're transporting crystals up. They transport
Hmm.
them up to the taller tower, and
Hmm.
then they come down and slide. But there's no vehicle that puts the crystals in the crate even at its lowest point.
Mm. I'm looking. I'm looking.
Like there's
It-
like it's like
Yeah.
what are you doing? Taking one up the ladder by hand, walking through the cabin, and then tossing it over just so you can dump it on the other side?
Yeah. So what it needed was one of those, which they came out with. It might not have been out yet, but they did come out with this. It was a little conveyor belt that you could use to throw stuff on, and it would actually move them up. So if they had built like a little conveyor, oh, that can of crate of carrots is, and had
Yeah,
like a conveyor belt there that you could run those crystals and dump them directly into the top of that bucket, that would have been nice.
yeah. I mean, some kind of addition there would have been nice.
People are gonna trash this. I really, really like this set. I like that it has an actual like building location, and then that the crane string connected to that flexible tube hosing piece up
Mhm.
along the top there.
Yeah,
That I'm just saying, like, you can hate on this, but like the innovation and seeing those like actual functioning things that Lego's doing, that's actually kind of similar to some steam shovel type functions in real life.
yeah.
I just think that's cool.
The mechanism that with that big wheel that cranks
Yeah,
that up the cord there, it's not jerky. It's one of those very, very like
it's like a
smooth.
flywheel.
It's a very smooth thing. And
Did
I
you
mean,
have this set?
you can, and you can like
Okay,
literally spin it, and it'll just like take it right on up, no problem.
that's cool. So it's very well designed as far
Yeah,
as
it's very well
function.
designed, but it is missing a crane or some kind of a vehicle that can do the lifting part,
Sure.
whatnot.
I also even like the barbed wire along the top of that
Oh
lower
yeah, no,
piece.
that's a nice touch. When I was
Because,
looking
like,
at just putting this together, I was like, man, I
yeah,
need to give me some of them barbed wire rings.
yeah, that's cool. I like that. Keeping on trying to keep the little critters off of climbing up in there. It's funny. I like how it's all again like it's just really it connects to itself. It tells the story really well. Like, that's what's going on, and you get to see that depicted in the parts usage and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, this is cool. Let's see who else said this was cool. I'm agreeing with them wherever they went. Alternate candidate said that this is a cool set to me. Illogical
No,
as it
Lauren Ipson
is.
didn't say it.
Yeah. Let's see. Bricativity. The mining station has a flaw. There's no way to get the crystals before. Oh yeah, you just said that. Yeah, they go before they cross over. There's no way to get them up there. Yeah,
Yeah.
unless you're like you said, carrying them one by one up the ladder, which at that point just
Becomes labor.
drive them across or something. Like, yeah,
Yeah, with a heavily funded mining operation and digging operation, you
Mhm.
would think that there would be some kind of
Yeah,
better concept there of transitioning. I mean,
yeah,
because they didn't really include, hey, this is water or this is lava. It's just station that takes it from one point to the other. So the set by itself, just sitting on your table, makes no sense. It's just a winch and a crane, and I mean, it could be looked at as a amusement park ride,
yeah.
up and down,
Mike
up and down.
D'Souza Cruz says, my brain doesn't work the way it takes to make this stuff. That's why I'm mesmerized and horrified at the same time. I'm liking that state.
Yeah.
That's a great comment. I mean, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I've made some like more basic functions in some of my stuff, and it takes a lot of brain power. It seems straightforward until you really start to make it work. And then you're like, I gotta move this, and no, this spacer isn't right. And you're like, yeah, the fact they got it as smooth as it is you're talking about is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Also, I like the transparent yellow creature down there. That's cool.
Yeah, that one's a nice one. I do like that one. Um, so these were the last sets for the first wave of 2009.
Yeah.
So
Um.
next two slides, the next four sets is
Okay.
the 2010 release.
So they
So
move.
these have the water.
These move away from the orange, so maybe Lorem Ipsum might be liking these a little better.
Yeah, well, there's only four of them, so
Oh, okay.
good luck.
Okay. Well.
So the Fire Blaster is the one that I was talking about, where they use the roll cage as like
Mm.
the front cage. It's almost like a bull bar type thing on on that vehicle.
I like it.
Yeah, it's very cool. I like the shape of that one
Hmm.
quite
It's
well.
very, yeah, I like it. I can see that on like Mars too, like a little moon base
Yeah,
too.
I mean, you could easily put that in space, in any
Hmm.
space theme for sure.
Yeah,
Carrying something with a little dome on it. I mean, obviously that's a water jug, or it's a little sticker
sure.
on the side of it that shows like it's water level.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Um, and then the claw catcher is kind of interesting.
This one looks like I think this one's specifically designed to snag the little creatures. I don't
Yeah.
think it's here to do much with. I mean, maybe grab rocks and stuff, but I think it's made mostly to catch those guys.
Mhm.
You think they kind of focused more on suppressing and containing in the second wave?
Probably.
Kind of looks like it. I also like. Here's what I was talking about with the heat armor. The same characters show up in the second wave, but they have new gear. It's this cool like silver. It's all silver, and they even
Hmm.
have vests that go over it. It's the heat armor, and then even their under printed torsos have heat armor printing on them. So they're like getting closer to or deeper in or closer to some lava source or something.
Hmm.
He's cooking a hot dog too.
The coolest thing about that silver helmet
Yeah,
is the fact that you have one. If you put your pieces together right, you've got one of the two members of Daft Punk.
nice. You know what else is cool about it?
But
It's almost the exact that is cool. But what else is cool is it's if you really wanted to update your ice planet, it's very similar to the design of that ice planet original visor, just missing
yeah,
the antenna. So if you
yeah.
wanted like another faction of ice planet characters or something like that, or some Gen 2 style guys, popping these visors on those helmets actually would work really well.
Well, I mean, given the recent CMF that came out of that Ice
Yeah.
Planet guy, that guy's pretty fire, man. I haven't bought any of those yet, but I need to get me a few just for the hell of it.
Yeah, I want a couple of those ones, and then the torso with the Ice Planet logo on it from that Chinese New Year set.
Yeah.
Get a couple of those and a couple of the new CMFs, and you got yourself a Gen 2 Ice Planet situation going on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because they
So
only
yeah,
had two prints to begin with, so you got two new ones. Boom, you got a new faction.
exactly, dude. Yeah, it's perfect. Um, yeah, no, these are cool. I kind of like the first. Well, no, I like the Fire Blaster a lot. The little experiment guy, the doctor, I think is his name. I can't
Mhm.
remember who exactly this guy is. But I did want to bring in real quick before we leave. I think his name's Brains. Brains, the doctor, is a character that shows up in Atlantis, and they use power miner technology on his submarine. It has a drill for like underwater mining. And so
Nice.
they integrate that in. And when we talked about Atlantis many months or a year or so ago, we did mention that he came from this theme. So it's cool to see that crossover, like very
Yeah,
purposefully done, right? So
yeah.
anyway, just thought I'd throw that out there.
So the last two sets here for power miners is Lavatraz, which is like where they would probably keep one of the. Look at that lava crystal monster guy.
I actually
That guy's
really
pretty
like that.
serious.
I would maybe try and turn him into a Balrog for Lord of the Rings. It's close.
Very similar, yeah.
That's a cool. I wouldn't mind getting one of those guys. I don't have that guy. He's pretty cool looking.
Yeah, all those little spikes on the top are kind of wild.
Yeah, it looks like he's very much on fire.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It's like molten rock that still kind of have some flames going on.
Yeah, yeah. So
And the,
Lavatraz,
yeah, and magma
yeah,
mech.
yeah, yeah. These are definitely suppressing and containment. So they
Mhm.
went in here, they got all this stuff. They maybe had more than they bargained for with the critters running all over the place, the lava monsters smashing their stuff, and so they sent in like wave two, and it's mechs with water cannons to suppress the lava. They're setting up cages to really contain these things. Like there's not as much drilling and more fighting back against the creatures in this wave. I
Mhm.
like that. I like it.
The magma mech was a really cool one.
It's nice.
It's got the water tank on it, and that little claw arm that's sticking out
Yeah.
way long like that. That
Yeah.
is literally like one of those claw arms that you get and you squeeze it, and then you can reach something 3 foot away for
Yeah,
like
from the
old
toy
people to
store.
pick stuff up off the floor.
Yep.
Same exact mechanism set up. I mean, it's very, very good.
Yeah.
because when it's straight, I mean, you're gaining another 3 or 4 inches of reach, so it can like reach probably. I would say it could probably reach down into the lava and grab a monster with the
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah. It looks like, yeah, it would be
while
like
it's
one of
like
those.
spraying with water. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you need to cool down.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, yeah, this is cool. I don't know if it's as solid as the first wave, but again, it's only 4 sets, so you can kind of see the direction they were going with.
Hmm.
But yeah, because I think I'm not sure, but I think Atlantis came out pretty much right after this, or around the same time.
I
I
think it was
so hate the
my
blue
impression
here.
of this.
He hates the blue more than the the orange.
Yeah,
Sorry, one of those streams, man.
and
Can't make it
not
happen.
lava trad set. Look at the base underneath
Yeah,
that. What on earth?
yeah, that's not good.
You got light gray, lime, dark gray, red,
That's rough.
blue.
Then reddish brown,
I mean,
transparent orange.
that looks like something a 5-year-old would put together with a bucket of bricks.
Yeah, this isn't. I like the concept and I love the name and the monster's really cool. The little water vehicle's okay, but and I like the crane with the cockpit below the track. Like all of that's functioning really well, but this kind of from the ladder down around the front of it, not a good look.
No.
That's giving Witch's Magic Manor a run for its money.
Yeah.
Like just the way it's chunky and
And I mean,
colored, it's
to
just
be honest,
bizarre.
I'd rather look at that.
Yeah, because at least you got the old school dragon floating in the sky on that one.
Yeah, and a witch.
Michael D'Souza Cruz says, "Okay, let's see. No, no, no. He had a funnier comment up here. He said, "I'm down with the Lavatrez monster. That's good stuff right there. Well worth the psychedelic mining trip."
Yeah, that's kind of the way this feels.
Yeah,
It's a little wonky.
it's pushing some boundaries. Um, there's some, but again, like I think there's some nice sets in here. You know, maybe not collect the whole wave. Maybe you're not into the whole thing, right? Or whatever it is. Some stuff in here is a little dorky. I I think there's some cool. There's something good here, and I think it's also partially just my love for unique original content. And it's not another Marvel headquarters being attacked by whatever Loki mech or something. Like, and it's not another X-wing. And I know
Yeah,
I'm ringing the bell that everybody rings, but like it's unique and original, and that's the risk you take when you do this. And that's why they failed badly in some of their most recent ones with the like Dreams. Well, I don't think Dreams is failing, but I don't like it. But um like Video, right? Or some of these other ones that just didn't pop off that well. They
yeah,
take a big risk when they're running this in-house stuff. Like this, the Cave Crusher is just so cool.
yeah. It is.
So
It is.
I'd say,
There was some cool ones. Some not so good ones.
yeah, no, I think it's fair to look at it and be like, yeah, okay, the
Still,
theme overall.
still kind of a decent theme to talk about.
Well, and here's the thing. I think I'll say this final kind of thing about the whole thing in general is you could like it or not. I think the concept, as far as like the actual source material, I guess you could say, or the genre itself, is really cool, and I'd like to see more of it. The underground mining exploration, you can really take it into space with like what they did with Rock Raiders and really make it more foreign instead of like, you know, or foreign alien as opposed to like more Earth centric. It's a cool concept that could really pop off again in Lego, I think, if they wanted to go that way, you know. So,
Mhm.
Rock Raiders 2.0 says PX Chris. Kinda, yeah. We talked about that at the beginning. That it's a spiritual successor to Rock Raiders, but it's not actually connected
Yeah.
any
Anyway,
really, except for that it's dealing with the same subject matter.
now herein lies the sales tactic.
Yeah.
If you look at this image here that I used,
Mm-hmm.
that's the box art for the titanium command rig.
Yeah.
So when you saw these boxes,
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
were very, very, very attractive looking.
Well, and they used the nostalgia grab with the drill in the logo.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, is it? That's almost the Rock Raiders. So, the logo, yeah. Nerf Herder says, yeah, the logo is almost the same. Yeah, from the original stuff. So, different planet though. What were they on? Can we? Because anyone? Let's do a quick test.
Oh man, I can't even remember now.
What was the Rock Raider planet? It was planet. It wasn't planet. Was it planet O? No. It was one. It was like a. It was like a one letter. Planet U. Planet U. I think. Tricks
Yeah,
bricks. I think you got it.
yeah,
I
Planet
think you
U.
got it. That sounds right.
Because the
Thanks
ice
for that.
planet is Planet Christo.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so yeah, different planet for the Rock Raiders, but yeah, dude, that's Power Miners right there.
Yeah, that's
Love it or
Power
hate
Miner.
it, that's what it was.
Jose, Mars mission we're gonna do soon. I'm contemplating doing Space Police 3 next week.
Mm.
What do you think about
That's yeah, that's in a similar vein to this actually. It has the same energy, I'd say.
it? Does, and It came out. I think maybe a year after this, or maybe during. I can't
Mm.
remember. But it had some pretty cool sets, man.
Yeah.
Space Police 3, especially the Space Police. They made one of the coolest robo dogs that I've ever seen built ever.
Yeah, dude. I absolutely love that. That was one of my favorite things about it. Was the police
But then
dog.
the main ship was phenomenal. Such a great build.
Yeah, the big ship at the police station was really nice.
Yeah.
Really nice as well. Um, I will say there are a couple sets I really don't like in Space Police 3.
Huh.
Um,
All the
but
weird ones.
yeah, there's some bad ones. There's just a couple really not good ones. But then again, there were some bad ones in this theme too. Like,
Yeah.
so it's rare to find a Lego theme that's just bangers all the way through.
I mean,
Um,
we could just go back and talk about some classic castle. That would show you some bangers all the way through.
that is fair. Yeah, so I was right. The Atlantis sets came out in 2010. So in that last wave of rock or power miners, they crossed over a little bit into the Atlantis stuff. So I think Space Police 3 is 2009, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah,
It might be.
yeah. So Space Police 3 next week potentially.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. Honestly, I was kind of teeter tottering on Space Police 3 or Power Miners, and I decided to go with Power Miners this week.
That's a decent run of sets. It's nice to
Yeah,
see
I mean,
that
it's a
many
decent
sets.
run of
Like,
sets. They're kind of cool. You know, yes, it has its flaws, and yes, the colors are weird, and the sets are kind of gaudy a bit.
yeah,
Um, but I mean, it's a cool vibe. It's a Lego original. It's not a licensed. It's you know
yeah.
has
Like
the
yeah,
same vibe and feel for the fans that really love the Rock Raiders. It's the same
yep,
concept.
yep. The helmet's the same. It's just in blue and silver.
Mhm.
Yeah, same mold. So they did take some things from Rock Raiders for
Yeah,
sure. Not to say they're not connected at all. Um, Lore Mythum, like some of the aliens from Space Police 3. Yeah, some of them really cool. Some of them I really don't like. But I do like that they did them, and I like I know you got to run right when this is over, Andrew, because I know you got stuff to do tonight. But what I like about Space Police 3 and what I like about Atlantis especially is the villains and like the diversity of creatures they put into these sets and the prints and the molds they put onto these things. Like they really went all out in building these waves of sets, and even in the Power Miners with all the dual molded creatures and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
I don't know. I'm not saying that they don't do that anymore, but it seems like they're really skimpy with it now. They're like, we're gonna reuse heads in like licensed products like Lord of the Rings. We're gonna put the same heads on some of the elves and like reuse them from different themes. And like the mold for the orc ears in Barad-dûr is the same for the elf. They just changed the hair color and the ear color, and it's like doesn't quite work for me. Like maybe put a little more effort into your $500 Lego sets. Like put the same effort you did with the Atlantis sets that you could get
right.
a cool molded creature and all these cool transparent parts in a $5 or $6 or $8 submarine set. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on, guys?
The
Anyway,
Space
there's a
Police
rant.
3 has a really cool vibe of Titan AE because of the creatures. Yeah.
Yeah, Frank Woodson says, to be honest, Power Miners, Space Police 3, Atlantis, and Fantasy Air Castle were peak Lego. There's a lot of good stuff in all three of or four of those themes. I will say there's a lot of really creative energy going on, and that's Lego at its core.
Yeah,
Is
original.
create
Those are all Lego originals too.
original themes
Themes.
and creativity, even at the risk of potentially creating some dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like now it's really safe in packed nice and neatly inside their licensed theme boxes. So, you know.
Well, I guess that's been an episode there, fellas. And
Yeah.
lady, if there's a lady in there listening,
yeah.
one.
Thanks for joining, guys.
There's one.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, come back next week. I'm
We'll
pretty sure we're gonna hit up Space Police 3. I think that's a good jumping point there. I have been looking back into Classic Town. The next year for Classic Town is 1990, so there's a lot of really awesome sets that came out in 1990.
Cool. Yeah.
Octavian, I don't know if we're going to talk about Nexo Knights or Castle for Villains, or I'm not sure. I know that there's a couple of cool minifigs that came in Nexo Knights, but the overall concept of it is weird.
You want a
I don't know, it might.
You want a psychedelic wonky trip. What was he saying? Crazy freak show of a theme. Get into some of that stuff. You might, Fabuland special coming soon. Yeah, probably. It'll happen one day. Yeah, let's do it. Sounds good. I mean, heck, we'll get to that at some point. I'm down for Pharaoh's Quest. I really want to talk about that now. So
yeah, that's gonna be a cool one.
Cool.
So yeah, come back next week and join us next Monday night.
Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for the people that jumped in that hadn't been here tonight or hadn't been here yet. Stuff. Yeah, awesome. Good to have you guys. And we'll see you next week.
I'll check it out. I'll check out the video, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you later, guys.